Today, I think the situation between U.S. and China has gone way beyond that. We are not even talking about Cold War II, but I think the real talk now, both in Washington, perhaps a little less in Beijing, is war games, basically. I never seen that. 40 years ago, when I come to SAIS to study, at least I had a strong conviction. First of all, we admired US enormously at the time as a young student. But the second thing, I never thought in my lifetime, US-China is going for another war. But now unfortunately, situation become increasingly difficult to control. I would not say out of control yet. Of course, Chinese leaders are primarily blame the United States for the turn of events, especially since Donald Trump came to power. In other words, they really think it's unprovoked, unnecessary kind of strategic thinking on the US side. Okay. Now, of course, since the Chinese leadership think that way, it also means they are psychologically prepared. They are doing all the preparations since 2017, I believe, for a potential confrontation. I'm not saying they have clearly defined deadlines for particular war plans and so on. But every military has a Schlieffen plan, maybe even A, B, and the C. That's nothing new. I'm sure People's Liberation Army has plans of invading Taiwan. I have no doubt about that. The question here is what might trigger it.
I think that the United States and China are engaged in a long-term structural competition. And this is, of course, very much a full spectrum strategic great power competition for wealth, for power, for influence. And it's taking place across many domains. Some of them are traditional domains, economic, diplomatic, and military. Some of them are less traditional, like technology, which is where I believe the competition is focused today. But the competition is also ideological. It features competing models for political governance and economic development, as well as competing visions for the structure and the rules of the international order. So it really is necessary to look at all of these aspects of competition. The world today is not divided into two opposing camps aligned with Beijing and Washington, as it was divided between the US and the Soviet Union during the Cold War. So these are just some of the key differences. But my view is that the US and China are already in a Cold War. I don't think we're close to a war. I don't think either the US or China would benefit from a military conflict. I think that a military accident is possible. The risks of such an accident are growing, but there is no reason to believe that a military accident would necessarily escalate to a major war. The only issue I think that would trigger a war is Taiwan. I'm quite doubtful that Beijing will invade anytime in the near future. A failed attempt to take Taiwan by force could threaten the legitimacy of the Chinese Communist Party, and it would certainly weaken Xi Jinping's position.